Just who exactly is the true identity of the mysterious figure in One Piece known as Joyboy? Why is this the first we're hearing of Sun God Nika? We're gonna answer all that and more in today's very first episode of One Piece Explained. I'm super excited. If you guys are too, make sure you hit that like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the video. Also, spoilers, you've been warned. As most One Piece fans already know, Oda likes to take a lot of real life inspiration towards the concepts and narrative components that he adds to the story of One Piece. And right now I'm going to show you a few pieces of evidence that could prove that Joyboy is no different. Starting off with the fact that there is a real life deity of the same exact name that can be found in West African and Haitian voodoo mythos, known as the Caribbean spirit of the drum. Real life Joyboy is described as a West African man wielding divine power through a magical drum that is able to rid problems from humanity, with whoever hears the rhythm of his tune forced to dance along, which just so happens to also bear a striking resemblance to someone you might have seen before. But the silhouette and appearance of Joyboy is not the only thing that Oda took as inspiration. As for all those who saw Gear 5's introduction in the anime last week already know, the sound of Luffy's heartbeat upon turning into Joyboy was the drums of liberation. So yeah, you saw all that, right? Luffy's final power-up and truest form are that of a West African music god. So y'all definitely might as well just add that to the ever-piling list of all the reasons why he solos fiction. But all rage baiting aside, let's get back to the history. The first in-universe mention of the character of Joyboy comes through the use of a poneglyph within the Fishman Island arc, which Robin explains reads of an apology left to the Fishman by Joyboy himself over a pact he made in which he was meant to bring Noah's Ark to the human surface. For reasons still unknown, Joyboy was not able to fulfill said promise. Thus, in place of his absence, he leaves the poneglyph along with the explanation that he will return in 800 years time. While that by itself may not seem like a lot of information, it does give us two very important details about Joyboy's life. One being that he has a history with Fishman Island and subsequently Poseidon. And two, the last record we have of him existing was during the Void Century, making Joyboy one of very few named characters who predate the existence of the world government. The only other canonical evidence we have for the existence of Joyboy comes from chapter 967 of the manga, in which we learn through a flashback involving the Roger Pirates that Gold Roger did not create the One Piece treasure as we all originally thought, and he is actually just the first one to have found it after it was left there by Joyboy. Yup, that's right, y'all. Joyboy is actually the OG creator of the One Piece treasure. With the revelation as huge as that, next thing you're probably asking yourself is, what was Joyboy's real name? And as of right now, every answer to that question provided to us within the text is telling us the same thing. The first example we have of this comes from Who's Who during his fight with Jinbei speaks of the legend of a liberation warrior named Sun God Nika to liberate them from their enslavement. A scene of foreshadowing which came full circle most recently during the anime's arc of Wano, upon which being unalived and defeated by the immortal monster Kaido, Luffy's heartbeat began to play the drums of liberation, allowing Joyboy's previous companion Zunisha to successfully identify Luffy as his second coming. Oh yeah, by the way, the first Joyboy was pretty good homies with this big ass elephant named Zunisha. I forgot to mention that. But what's important there is that Zunisha was not able to identify Luffy as Joyboy until he took the form of Nika, making Sun God Nika the name of the previous incarnation of Joyboy. And that is pretty much the extent of our knowledge on Joyboy, so far at least. Promised he'd come back to help the Fishmen in 8th century, created the One Piece, and dipped pretty much. Oh yeah, and we also know that pretty much any record of his existence has been wiped away completely from history, to the point that there are pretty much only a few characters that are even aware of the fact that he exists at all, due to a mass censorship and erasing technique done by the world government, to the point where pretty much the only ones who are aware of the fact that Joyboy ever even existed, characters like Roger, the Gorosei, and Emu, the latter of which who seemingly has to be aware of Joyboy's existence. They, along with the Gorosei, changed the name of the Hito no Mimaru Nika to the Gum Gum fruit solely so they could keep people from the awareness of the existence of it. But all of that was not enough to stop his return, which finally arrives in the One Piece world 800 years later through the birth of Monkey D. Luffy. Now here's where the story begins. Born in the East Blue within Fuchsia Village to an unnamed woman along with Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the revolutionaries, our main character Luffy was quite literally born into a bloodline of power and prominence, as not only is he the firstborn son of the world's most wanted criminal, he is also the grandson of the hero of the Marines, Monkey D. Garp, who Luffy also ended up being raised by after Dragon decided to go on a 2-decade-long milk run. And to be honest, whether or not Dragon left Luffy in good hands by leaving him with Garp is still up for debate, but it did make him stronger, to the point that a 6-year-old Luffy's punch was as powerful as a pistol. Fate of Luffy's life would changed forever when red-haired Shanks and his crew, the red-haired pirates, stationed themselves within Fuchsia Village, during which Luffy becomes such a Shanks fanboy that in order to prove himself worthy of traveling on his ship, he literally stabs himself in the eye. Then they patch him up, and while the red-haired pirates are busy getting lit in a tavern, Luffy stumbles upon and accidentally ends up eating his well-known fruit, the Gamu Gamu no Mi. Shanks end up telling his little goofy ass like, "Lil bro, you just ate a devil fruit. Now you can't swim." So just in case you needed any more evidence to prove Luffy's racial or ethnic background, just let me mention that so far in this video I proved that he cannot swim and does not know his father. Then Kid Luffy ends up beefing with some pirates who try to clap his cheeks. Then almost randomly, a giant sea beast named Lord of the Coast comes from the depths of the oceans and eats Higuma and the boat they were traveling in. Then Luffy starts to drown, obviously, cause you know, he can't swim. And as the sea creature goes to swallow him up, the way he did Higuma, pause, Shanks comes out of nowhere and using his sheer willpower, forces the creature to flee. Oh yeah, he also loses an arm too. After that, he and the rest of the red-haired pirates decide to dip out of Fuchsia Village, but before they leave, he decides to give his signature straw hat to Luffy, thus solidifying the beginning of Luffy's true journey and his dedication to becoming the Pirate King. But right now, that is all the knowledge that we have available to us on Joyboy and the Sun God Nika. Obviously, I paraphrased a lot here. I could have went way more into detail, but the video would be 10 hours long. So if you guys want to see a part 2 or you want to see me talk more on this subject, make sure you leave a like on the video, leave a comment telling me what your favorite thing was that we discussed so far, any more thoughts that you might have on the topic, because honestly there's still so much more to uncover here. Subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, and make sure you guys tap on that link in my bio and join our Discord. We're going to be streaming every single episode of Gear 5's fight. Send you happiness. I love and appreciate you.